and responding to things, and holy fucking shitballs, man. Well, anyways, we are live once again talking about a brand new, fresh topic that we've never talked about before, and that is God.
Never.
Yes, we're talking about God.
Oh boy.
What's up,
Maybe I came
Arsene?
in at the wrong time.
Yeah, some new member I think wants to debate me on Islam, so we'll see if they show up. That we've never talked
I
about.
want to see somebody
before.
debate you on Scientology. That would just make my day.
That's, I mean, the most true religion, Scientology. Like, how can you?
Wait,
Hold
on.
Can you imagine if Tom Cruise jumped in here and was like, let me throw some knowledge at you like this, Travis.
Yeah. He starts jumping up and down on the couch.
Yeah. I'm in love with Katie Holmes. I'm not gay.
I hear that he has a piercing gaze, though.
What's that, Trey?
I hear he has a piercing gaze. Like like when he looks at you,
it's very focused.
It's just you.
Yeah. I've known people like that where it's like almost reptilian.
Well, honestly, you'll convince me of that the babies come from storks before you convince me of Scientology.
I'd go with that.
I've been to Clearwater. Have you ever been to Clearwater?
I have not. Is Clearwater, Michigan?
No, Florida. That's where the
Florida. Oh, that's where they the Scientologists own a town there, right?
Yeah, it's a great town. It's a great town. I love it.
Is it a great vacation spot?
Yes, it was awesome. Although, like, I'm not into the Scientology stuff, but the town was really cool. It's kind of got like a big city feel, but it's small.
I think the Catholic Church should buy land there. I don't think they'll sell it to them, but like I think they should try and just see what happens.
Well, we already got enough religious issues.
Yeah, I know.
No, there's
Go ahead.
Oh, what's up?
I was just gonna ask Travis, did Dan McClellan ever get back to you?
Who?
Dan McClellan. He's the Mormon guy.
Ooh, I'm not sure. I'll have to check my email. I'm a bit behind on my responses, so yeah, I'll have to take a look. But I have a lot of unread email right now.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, the woman I told you about, Lauren Corbett, the advocate.
Yeah, she emailed me, or so she initially responded, and she was basically like, "Fuck off with this scam," basically is what she said. And then I was like, okay, whatever. And then I just kind of moved on. And then like 24 hours later, she emailed me back and was like, "I am so sorry. Someone just told me that this is a legitimate offer from like a legitimate company to speak, and I just get so many scam emails that I just get triggered by them sometimes." And I was like, I responded, I was like, ha, no worries, I'll be back soon with some offers. So I thought it was funny.
Oh yes,
that's so funny.
That is hilarious.
The Dadvocate.
Yeah,
and what is she? She's kind of like a manosphere person or something.
She's like a men's rights advocate, but she's very against the red pill. She's very against the red pill. Yeah,
gotcha.
She thinks that they take advantage of men's problems, and she hates Pearl Davis with a burning hot passion.
Gotcha.
Who is it?
Sorry.
Who is it?
The advocate. That's the name she goes by. Her name is Lauren.
Lauren
Corbett. Corbet.
What were you saying about Mormons?
Oh yeah, Dan McClellan is like a Mormon scholar. He's like a very well educated Mormon scholar and creator on TikTok. And I was wondering if Travis ever got back, if he ever got back to Travis or whatever, because like I think it would be interesting having a Mormon debate somebody on the Pangburn stage. He is a very soft spoken and a very articulate individual. So I think he's someone who I think Pangburn would enjoy.
I know a little bit about Mormons, so I probably know more about Mormons than any other Christian sect.
I thought you were going to say then Joseph Smith.
No,
the fallen angel Joseph Smith.
I don't know more than him. I mean, he's the prophet, apparently.
Joseph Smith.
In quotes. The prophet in quotes.
14. Oh, I think when he got in trouble for being doing some shady stuff.
Oh yeah, what was the shady stuff?
Like he was a con man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got in trouble for doing some lying. But
for doing some no things.
They have some interesting points. So apparently Mormons, Joseph Smith wrote the Book of Mormon. He didn't write it, but he had a scribe take his notes, and it was astonishingly fast, apparently. So to be able to do that based on just your brain is kind of impressive. But apparently there's witnesses to seeing the golden plates. I just can't get past the lost tribes part, because they say that the two lost tribes of Israel were basically Native American Indians. But whenever you do a genealogy test, Native Americans don't have any genetics tied to Israel. So I don't think that that's possible. Not even possible.
Oh, come on. You're going to trigger me this early?
Okay, fine. I don't think it's probable.
In any way plausible. Well, I can give you the probability factor for that, but it will be incredibly rare circumstance. Incredibly low.
Because we know that the Native Americans came from Asia like 50,000 years ago, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, they're Asiatic. I think that's what I think. Like, actually, there was. Oh God, actually, I'll just let you go off.
No, go.
I was just gonna say. So I'm Latino, and I think that when like native tribes in South America were looked at, apparently they looked less like their Asian cousins, because apparently the North American natives actually probably experienced a second great migration over the frozen ice bridge, because they look like they have more features that are similar to their East Asian cousins than South Americans do.
Yeah, I think you're right. I read this one book. I read this one book by it's about Native American history, and they think that there was more than 2 migrations over like 50,000 years. Earlier than people expected. So like the Americas were populated they think 50,000 years ago. And they came from Asia. So to me, it's just not possible. And then I think one data point they had was that like Native Americans can't ingest alcohol, which is Asians also have an issue ingesting alcohol, apparently. So their genetics are kind of the same.
Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, I'm actually going to get going, because the God debate is kind of out of my hands. But have a good night, guys.
All right, peace out.
Night.
Good night.
Did somebody say that they were going to talk about Islam?
Yeah, I don't know exactly when this person's going to show up, but yeah, I mean, I said we would be live tonight with our general chit chat.
Yeah, I'm really interested in hearing some of that. I don't have that much time, but I just listened to Islam Christian debate.
Oh yeah,
Islam. The last time that you were talking to the Muslim
the
guy, I
progressive
didn't
Muslim.
get that much.
Yeah.
Oh well, quote unquote progressive. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure that there's that much progressivism in Islam.
Mm.
But their history is terrible. They spread all across North Africa to Southern Europe. They conquered most of Spain, Italy, and spread all the way to China by the sword. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way you can tell me that is a good movement. So it took the Reconquista, which is like my Spanish heritage, the northern kingdom of Spain's had to repel Islam out of Spain, which was it had to come to a militaristic action to do this. This is beyond the battle of ideas. So I wanted to know what he would say from that. He might say, "Oh no, well, we just spread Islam through the good word." Well, that's false.
Yeah, I mean, I brought up a few examples of particular battles that I think were more offensive battles that resulted in death, led by Muhammad. So, I mean, I think there's even like, these documented cases, and I think if you're claiming territory and engaging in expansionism, how are you going to justify that from a worldview perspective? And some people would say, like, Muslims were the persecuted ones that eventually, rose up through Muhammad's leadership and took back what was rightfully theirs. I've heard those justifications in the debate before. What's up, Magix? Welcome. And also, Murdy Man, welcome.
I don't think that aligns with history, though, Travis, because Islam spread after Muhammad, which was like it was the 7th century.
Yeah, you're talking about outside of the Quran. Yeah.
Muhammad did do some conquering, but it mostly spread after he died.
Yeah, I mean, and then we can also look at the things like the Crusades, right? What do you think about the Crusades, by the way, as a Christian?
They were defensive wars.
The Crusades were?
Yeah, absolutely. It's akin to a preemptive strike nowadays. Nowadays, you just send a predator drone and just blow up whatever you need to blow up. But in the old days, you had to go on the offensive. So what you had was, and I've read a couple of books on this, what you have is Greece and Turkey are on a geographic point where basically it's Christianity on the Greece side and Islam on the Turkish side, and they're fighting for this position basically. This goes back 10,000 years, 12,000 years. I mean, even Homer, even though Homer was a poet, but this war between Greece and at that point it was Troy, right? But that's the story of the Iliad. These two factions have been warring together for thousands of years, but basically they both made monotheism, and then each side, took each other as slaves. And from what I've read, which side started it, I'm unclear, but it might have been the Greek side. It might have been.
Well,
Alexander the Great moved in from Greece and took a lot of land, and that was probably 300 AD or 300 BC maybe. So I'm mixing up my times, but these geographic areas have been at war for a long time, and the Crusades were 1,000 years after Jesus, so they were coming back for the Holy Land. And at that point, the Turks were taking slaves from the Eastern Roman Kingdom.
Okay. So let's see here. So the First Crusade had a genuine defensive catalyst. The Byzantine Emperor Alexios I requested Western military assistance after Seljuk Turks had conquered much of Byzantine Asia Minor. What's that? Seljuk. Okay. Helping Byzantine recover recently lost territory could reasonably be characterized as collective defense. However, Pope Urban II transformed that request into something much larger, an armed pilgrimage aimed at capturing Jerusalem, which had been under Muslim rule for roughly 4 centuries. The Crusaders invaded territories, besieged cities, established new Latin states, and killed large numbers of inhabitants. That was offensive conquest, even though participants understood it was recovering Christian lands and protecting sacred sites. I mean, isn't that still like... You think that you would consider that defensive? Recapturing their land?
In warfare, believe it or not, the best defense is a good offense. This is something that they even say in football, in like National Football League. So why? Because when you go on the offense in war, you confuse the enemy. They're not so sure about what they should do. So tactically, yes. Offense, as a matter of fact, you want to be on the offense. Now, with the Crusades, the Islam was encroaching upon Europe. Okay, you can ask your AI this, but they, like I said before, they conquered the majority of Spain. They conquered a lot of Italy.
Yeah, so I was just looking for your prescription, because I'm going to read through the rest of the history here, just for the record. So, yeah, the second point is Muslim expansion had taken historically Christian territories. So Christian apologists also placed the Crusades within a much larger history. Muslim armies had conquered Syria, Palestine, Egypt, North Africa, and much of I think it's Beria, from Christian-ruled states beginning in
Iberia.
Oh yeah, Iberia. In the 7th century, Jerusalem had been under Muslim rule since approximately 637 or 638. From a medieval Christian perspective, these were not simply foreign countries that happened to contain Christian shrines. They were former Christian lands containing ancient Christian populations and sacred sites. Many crusaders consequently understood themselves as recovering what had unjustly been taken from Christendom. That argument has genuine historical substance. It is false to portray the Crusades as occurring without any previous history of Islamic conquest or pressure on Byzantine territory. The participants generally regarded the expedition as a rescue and pilgrimage. Okay, fine. Some later Crusades responded to direct attacks. The Second Crusade was proclaimed after the Muslim conquest of the Crusader county of Edessa in 1144. The Third Crusade followed Saladin's destruction of the main Crusader army and his capture of Jerusalem in 1187. From the perspective of the Latin states and their Western supporters, these campaigns were attempts to rescue communities or recover recently lost territory.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. I mean, the First Crusade was the most successful. They actually captured Jerusalem. But after that, each crusade was a complete and total failure. Richard the Lionheart in the Third Crusade, he couldn't capture Jerusalem. And then Richard the Lionheart, he was famous, and I read this in a book, that he was famous for saying that he would have sold all of England to fund the crusade. These were people that were some of them were driven by wealth, but a lot of these people sold their belongings to go on crusade. Okay.
Doesn't that mean it wasn't approved by God?
What?
Say again?
Doesn't that mean it wasn't approved by God if they lost?
I've talked to several. I guess I've talked to several pastors about this, and no, they would not say that it was approved by God. They would say that it was a misinterpretation of Christianity.
What up, Kelly? What up, Oddmod? Welcome back.
But me, as like I was a former infantry officer in the U.S. Army. I think this is just the case of offensive operations.
Let's go through the five main critiques here of your position, Trey. So Jerusalem was not taken immediately before the First Crusade. So Jerusalem had been under Muslim government for more than 4 centuries before 1095. It's quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, this was a time when people had horses, and back then horses weren't even as big as they are now. They were at least a couple of hand lengths. They measure horses by hand lengths. Some of them are 18 hand lengths, 17. I think back then they were like 13 hand lengths. So you don't even have people as tall as we are nowadays. And this was militaristically, the Crusaders were at a disadvantage because they had to move personnel and equipment hundreds of miles, maybe even thousands of miles, all the way to the Near East just to start the fight. So that's why I said, the First Crusade, they did get to the Holy Land, but everything after that was just an abysmal failure.
Yeah, so I guess the thing would be here is, would Jesus approve of this crusade? No. Of course not.
No, but
yeah.
Even Richard the Lionheart, I believe, if I remember correctly, he was born in Normandy, which is or maybe not born, but he spoke the French language because he was the Norman king, I believe, if I remember correctly. But the way that he exited the Third Crusade is something that you wouldn't even think about. What happened to a king? He was captured and he was jailed for like years, and he died. And they had to take his bones back, his remains back to France, I believe. So this person was a king, and
right.
in many ways it was a terrible ending for him.
So okay, the Christians, yeah, they were doing something bad here, and likely even unrighteous by their own moral standards, but for some reason they felt compelled. Urban expanded the Byzantine request into a separate campaign for Jerusalem. So Alexios wanted Western military assistance against the Turks in and around Byzantine territory. Urban transformed this request into a vast potential expedition whose ultimate focus became Jerusalem. These goals overlapped, but they were not identical. Recovering Anatolian territory for
I have a question.
Byzantium was one thing. Marching through Syria and Palestine to create Latin-ruled principalities was another. So Jerusalem was central to Urban's religious appeal, not merely an accidental extension of Byzantine border defense. Yeah, go ahead.
Is there going to be another defensive crusade, or would you join it?
Would I join it? Oh man, don't tempt him with a good time, you know.
Like,
No.
aren't we living in a time where like the East and the West are like competing for ideological differences? Whose flavor of the same God is better than whose?
I think you can kind of say that in there's comparisons you can make, I think, but at this point I think Europe is I don't know if it's as Christian as it was in the old days.
Yeah.
So, but listen, I'm now more of I see what the modern day Christians say, and they say that the Crusades were a bad thing. What I say is that Christianity wouldn't even be existing if they hadn't have gone on Crusades, because Islam would have taken over Europe. That's what I think would have happened if they had not gone on an offensive operation.
So the Crusaders did not simply restore everything to Byzantium. That's another one. The people holding Jerusalem in 1099 were not the same force attacking Byzantium. The conduct of the First Crusade exceeded any plausible defense necessity. So I think that's that one's a big one. Like,
I mean, listen, look.
Both you guys. Are we live now, or is it still pre?
Yeah, we're live, William. We're in the middle of it here.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
I mean, like,
thanks.
Let's just look at Spain. Okay, like Spain. This is a history of my people because I am Hispanic. Spain was largely conquered by the Islam. Okay, they had now they didn't kill everybody, but it took a militaristic reconquering of Spain to drive Islam out. It was called the Reconquista. Okay, so like the Spanish Crusaders fought to take back control of Spain. And then you have the Franks, which was now modern day France and Germany. They were largely the ones that went on these crusades, like the First Crusade, the Second Crusade, and the Third Crusade, in England as well. But the Reconquista was like a 700-year period in Spain where the northern Spanish kingdoms repelled Islam. So this was in my opinion, this was a situation where you had to go on the offense just to survive.
But I mean, all in all, though, you don't think that this is
ancient world was
biblically justified, right, Trey?
Biblically, no, but militarily, I think this was necessary.
Okay.
For the Christians or the Muslims?
For Christians.
Okay.
Here's what I think.
I don't think they should have killed so many people, but there was a Muslim threat.
Well, you know, in war, awful things happen. And I agree with you.
The Israelites used that excuse with the Palestinians.
No, I agree with you. In war, there's a lot of terrible things that happen, even nowadays, where we have even better sense of morality. awful things happen. Even the United States does this kind of stuff in Vietnam, for example. In Iraq, there was, it was either Iraq or Afghanistan. There was a Black Heart platoon. There's a book on this called Black Hearts. Awful things happen. Again, this was a survival instinct for Christianity to push back. Without the Crusades, I'm not so sure that Christianity would have survived. I mean,
But they kind of contributed to the problems they were fighting against.
What do you mean?
Like Christians, there was a plague going on. There was a lot of moral issues, and they were kind of making that worse. I'm a Christian saying all this, by the way.
Oh, you're good.
I'm trying to be good faith, see both sides.
So, what do you mean that they were making it worse when they're getting conquered and slaughtered by Islam?
No, yeah, I know. I support them fighting back against Islam. Just think by killing like innocent secular people, they were kind of going against their own goals.
Okay. I mean, I don't think that they no innocent person should be slaughtered and stuff, but and there that did exist during the Crusades, and there was a lot of let's say grape. There was a lot of grapes, and there was a lot of terrible things.
Inappropriate.
Yeah.
Inappropriate behavior against innocent people.
Absolutely, and that was the way of the world, but it doesn't make it right. I think it was
still do things wrong nowadays.
In many ways, I think it was an existential threat, and that's something that a lot of people nowadays take for granted because they're in a position to say, it was
an existential struggle.
Yeah,
definitely. This guy's smart. I love this guy.
Well, I've read a couple books. That's it.
Well, I mean, I understand many doctrines, for instance, when it comes to warfare. Although I know there are certain problems with the notion of existential threat regarding, let's say, culture or civilization, because those things are already fluid and change over time. I guess my question is to what extent do you believe the Crusades helped the West in a case? Because I know the arguments, I understand them. I'm just curious what you think.
Well, I think at the time it helped the West survive because, like I said, the best example I have at that time was Spain was largely conquered by Islam, and for 700 years, Islam reigned in Spain. It took the Reconquista. Right, which is its own movement aside from the Crusades to drive Islam out of Spain.
I mean, true. They held on to that territory. However, the problem is they were also suffering from infighting for a good amount of time, which allowed Christians plans to take more land.
But you can't say that a foreign invading force is going to help an infighting country by cutting people's heads off. Like this is not something that you're going to want to argue. That the facts are that Islam.
I'm arguing logistical constraints. It's not necessarily that.
What do you mean logistical constraints?
For instance, do you know what the difference between the Mongol Empire is versus the Byzantine or Roman empires? For instance?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, you just said it, the Byzantine or the Romans, and the Romans did spread a lot, and so did the Mongols. Yeah.
Yeah, the Mongols had more of a fluid command structure. They would just take cities and take tribute and then fuck off. Versus other conquering nations that oftentimes integrated cultures, etc. I mean, I guess to me at least, I don't think there's a plausible scenario where the Muslims managed to take the West.
Well, I'll tell you.
We had a lot of cultural exchange with the pagans.
There was a lot of cultural exchange.
Christmas and Halloween.
if you look at my genetics as proof of a cultural exchange, like I'm largely Spanish, but I also have Middle Eastern and parts of modern day Islamic and Jewish countries. Like there
Yeah,
definitely was a
Spanish
cultural
or
exchange.
pagan and Christian.
Most Americans happen to be some byproduct of cultural exchange.
Absolutely.
Yes. We're a multicultural society.
Correct.
Now,
Not always functional, but that's how we are.
but as far as how Islam spread, you had three choices. You either convert to Islam, you pay a tax, or you get your head cut off. That's literally what was happening in those times.
I mean, I would agree also in a certain sense that Islam tends to be more aggressive ideologically compared to Christianity. However, I believe both cultures, both religions, for instance, of Islam and Christianity, do share certain overlaps in their want to, let's say, convert people to become a part of their faith.
Yeah, even in the Reconquista, the Spanish Inquisition, the Christians did the same thing. Like it was like you either become a Christian or face the consequences, and the consequences, I believe they led up to death. I'm not
That's me.
so sure.
That's me.
Somebody can check me on that, but
Sure.
That's me, bro.
I mean, take the Protestant Reformation or certain wars that were fought among Christians themselves. I mean, they fought in 100 Years' War, which was essentially an earlier equivalent to a world war.
Michael's
Which
drinking his water.
Hilarious. I mean, but that's besides the point. Christianity and Islam, I believe, have just as much blood on their hands.
Yeah, we got a lot of blood on our hands.
that may be the case. But the distinction here is that Christianity has undergone a reformation and
Became more liberal.
Yeah, you're right.
In both good and bad ways.
Hello, guys. How are you doing? How are you doing?
What's up?
Yeah, doing well, Luke. How are you
What's up, Luke?
Luke,
Good, good.
you're a
So
Catholic?
here's the thing that came up with the conversation you were having.
Michael, are you a
Uh,
Catholic?
No,
Yeah,
let
I
Luke.
think,
Yeah, let
You're a
Luke go.
secular guy.
Christians wants to convert as much as scientists wants to convert globe skeptics. So wants to convert atheists.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I will write it in the chat. Wants to convert globe skeptics. So globe skeptics are people who claims that there is not enough evidence for the Earth to be a globe. They don't claim that it is flat. They just claim that there is not good enough evidence that the shape is a globe.
Yeah, not
And
just one sec, Luke. Just for any academics out there, he's not talking about global skeptic in the sense of skeptics who they do away with the concept of knowledge because they can't see any way to acquire absolute certainty. I just wanted to line that out. But go ahead, Luke.
I'm a
Yeah.
globalist.
It's about the shape of the Earth.
Yeah.
So there's this need that comes often in conversation like the one I was listening to. They need to convert people so that they can be part of their flock, kind of thing. That kind of phrases that I hear, and it is something that I find a little bit. How do you say that? Disingenuous? Is it English? Like
Yeah.
not cool, kind of, or not thought of. Because if I were to try to convert, quote, the globe skeptic, I wouldn't be doing a bad thing. Let's say I open a school in those cities where there are a lot of globe skeptics and teach them or their kids about the shape of the Earth.
There's nothing inherently wrong with trying to convert someone to your side, I would argue. But, however, I believe thoughts do lead to actions, and actions lead to more thoughts. So, I mean, I guess my question to you is, I mean, if something is epistemically unjustified and oftentimes can lead to harm, do you think that thing that you've converted them to is useful in that sense of preventing harm or expanding harm?
So that's another conversation we had with Travis earlier. Christianity earlier, another time, sorry, is Christianity a force for good or mostly good for the world? This kind of conversation, and we do observe that it is the case. We did observe what is a religion. What should we observe from a religion that do mostly good than bad? And it does apply to what Christianity does. I don't dismiss the bad thing that the Christians do. I don't dismiss the bad thing that scientists do. When those who claim that the Earth is spherical, they do. Some
The
scientist
Soviet
group
Union
do
built
bad
to
things also.
atheism.
Sorry, what?
William, try to
I mean,
wait. Try to wait, William, until someone is done and then speak. That would be great.
All right, sorry,
Go-
bro.
Go ahead, Tyson.
There is like a certain nuance you point out there, that there are different positions and varying degrees of which those beliefs enact harm. I will give you that. However, I think that, like, for instance, I believe in both the Christian and Muslim faith, for instance, they have unjustified foundations for their belief systems, and thus they have created epistemic certainty where there is none, and thus produced more violence than there ought need be. So, I suppose, in that sense, what would you say to someone like me, for instance, that opposes dogmatic beliefs?
So you say justify Christianity has unjustified something. What's the word?
Foundations.
Foundation. So I believe that globe skeptics, at least those I talked with, they say that scientists also have unjustified foundation. So the claim that they have an unjustified foundation, for me, has to be substantiated with which is the foundation that you say is unjustified, and what is the justification that you are looking for. So because the reason why I ask for what is the justification that you're looking for is because when I ask the same question to the globe skeptic, who says that the scientist does have unjustified foundation, he answers, well, they just have to open their eyes. And you look at the Earth. If you look at the Earth, it is flat. It's not spherical. Just open your eyes. That would be the justification for their belief or skepticism of the shape of the Earth. I'm like, yeah, but what would be the justification for the other side, the side that claims that the Earth is a globe? And that's where the conversation stales. Usually with these people, the globe skeptics, I don't have an answer to that question. Similarly for atheists.
I believe that's too much of a binary answer, because in essence, what we're doing here is we're taking the opposed side of radical skepticism, right, and saying, well, this is ludicrous in its own manner, versus something that, let's say, places faith in the foundations of a almighty deity that created the earth somehow, right? He has no origins. He is eternal somehow. It has contradictory, I would say, abilities, such as being omnipotent, omniscient, omnibenevolent. Those three things in general are contradictory to hold at once. Now, if I were to get into it, at least the meat and the potatoes, I don't know necessarily why we can't, let's say, have a model and be able to revise that model. Why does not having certain amounts of information and starting points requiring to get more information for my model require the idea or notion that I don't know anything entirely, or I am making an unfalsifiable leap somehow? To me, that is kind of too dogmatic in essence, because what we're doing here is we're assuming two positions that are too binary.
Be careful. They didn't say the globe skeptics. I didn't say that the globe skeptics had no knowledge. I didn't say that atheists had no knowledge. What I said is the knowledge that they don't have is basically what is justification or justified foundation for infinity, or justified foundation for the Earth being a sphere.
I mean, yes, but you also did say earlier that like there are scientists with unjustified foundations, which I would agree with. But
Some of them have, yeah.
some of them, yes, if we're gonna get pedantic. But I like I guess like you didn't answer my question in a sense. I'm just curious where we're drawing lines, at least in our models.
Where do we draw a line between what and what? Sorry.
Hyperskepticism versus dogmatic beliefs.
I don't think there's a difference.
How so?
Like the dogmatic person and the hyperskeptic person both have a dogma in which they believe in. Though the dogma for the hyperskeptic person is anything that is presented to me can be a lie and I should question it. And the dogmatic person, when it comes to religion, they would say, well, it is true because God said so, and there is no question to be asked about it.
I mean, I suppose two have dogma in a specific way. However, I believe that. I mean,
Well, the question, Tyson, the question here would be whether or not, like if someone has a true dogma, which is a position held as incontrovertibly true, that's what dogma is. What the other side has when we're talking about global skepticism in the academic sense are the epistemic nihilists. That's another term for the global skeptics. They say we can't have knowledge. We can't have knowledge anymore, or we can't have knowledge because certainty is almost certainly unattainable. Both positions are wrong, but they're not both. But they're both not dogmatic. Yeah, I know, but okay. What Tyson was talking about was something different. Because there's something being intertwined here where Tyson is referencing. I felt Tyson was referencing skepticism in general as as a concept, and there was a conflation between that and dogmatism. But I wouldn't want that side. I wouldn't want the nihilist side being conflated with the dogmatism, because those are both are wrong in my view, but different sides of the coin.
Well, I mean, I was just trying to get into that even.
Okay.
There's different ways we flesh out our models. And, I've studied positions that do propose radical solutions. For instance, take error theory or global error theory, for instance, that all propositions are false. That would be one such case of maybe even too much hyperskepticism in our framework. Or if I were to really get down to it, deflationary theories of truth sometimes do that horrific thing where you basically say that we're only talking about things within an illusionist sense.
I feel like deflationary theories of truth are hand waving away the phenomena that actually exists, and they're just trying to relabel it as something else. Yeah.
And what I'm trying to get at there is that I believe religion does a similar thing where we hand wave everything away with either hyperskepticism or believe something that is dogmatic in its foundations. And to me, that's inconversion. To me, that's kind of damning, at least globally.
Yeah. So the claim that I push here is that Christians don't have this kind of hyperskepticism or dogmatism, the one that goes against what we do observe. What we want to know is what do we expect to see if the Christianity claims were true, and does it coincide with what we do observe? And that's the conclusion. The answer to the question for me is yes. What do we expect to see if there was a God described by Christians? And we do observe what we should observe. We expect to see if it was the case. The other thing, if there wasn't a God, we should expect to see stuff that we don't see. And that's why I am saying, there's a difference between hyperskepticism and the dogmatism, air quotes, dogmatism that you talk about when you talk about religions in general. I am specifically talking about Christianity, and to be clear, Christianity, most Christians are Catholic, so I'm talking about Catholicism more precisely when I say Christianity.
Fascinating. So you're using abductive and empirical reasoning, if I'm not mistaken there.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Luke.
How do you empirically go about justifying a god?
Well, it depends on who I'm speaking with. Like what is the knowledge of the person I'm exchanging with, and what does he know about who God is, and what does a world where God exists look like? Is he aware of what it would look like or not?
What?
What
Okay,
does a word? Okay, let me type it out. What does a word where God exists look like? This is the question I ask people I exchange with when we talk about the term God, because most people are unaware of what God means when they say they want to talk about empirical evidence for God.
Well, I don't know if you can necessarily even. You can have an abstract notion of what God looks like, for instance, but going about talking about what something looks like that is unfalsifiable, or, for instance, has never been observed, from my understanding, has problems. Problems in the sense of justification. How do you even go about proving something that is quote unquote unfalsifiable through empirical and abductive ways? Would be one case. I can maybe try to appeal to Bayesian priors, for instance, and say that there's a certain improbability of life ever existing. But what am I doing there? I'm just doing a God of the gaps, for instance. So, what do you think is evidence in your case, Luke?
Again, my answer is the same. It depends on who I'm speaking with, and his answer to what does a world where God exists look like.
So you're Luke, but you are speaking to Tyson. So what is the evidence you would give to Tyson?
The one he gives me when he says, he answered the question, what does the world where God exists look like? That's the evidence. Yeah.
What?
Okay, explain to me, what does a world where God exists look like? From your explanation, I will get the evidence that you expect to see in a world where God is. And this would be the evidence that I will present you. It is the case that God exists, and we do observe what we should observe if God were to exist.
Okay, let me try something here. Okay, Luke, you have a cup in front of you, right? And if I told you, if you can picture a cup that is perfect, that perfect cup exists, would you believe me?
Yep. You mean like in front of me, the cup in front of me is perfect, or a perfect cup exists somewhere, but we don't know where?
Yeah, platonically, in a sense, because I can picture the cup.
I would say that a perfect cup exists, but it depends on the context. The cup change, the perfect cup, the shape of the perfect cup change depending on the context.
Well, the question's epistemic in nature. If you can picture
okay.
a perfect cup, does the perfect cup exist because you can picture
it? No, but the criteria of a perfect cup, if I am able to picture it, I know what a perfect cup look like. If I'm not unable to picture it, then I don't have a criteria. I don't have evidence, or I don't know what to look for evidence for a perfect cup. I need to be able to explain to someone what does a perfect cup look like, so that I can say, oh yeah, well, this is the perfect cup because of these evidences that you say the perfect cup should look like.
Well, then you're just redefining what a perfect cup is. For instance, pantheists do this, for instance, where they convert the universe into God. I am God, you are God, the cup is God. I would say that's an idea of redefinition, for instance. Mm-hmm. So, I guess if we can't picture a perfect cup, and picturing something does not prove perfect cup is real, then how does your assertion to how I picture God conform to any standard of evidence whatsoever?
Let me type down what is evidence.
Well, why don't you just play his game, though?
The reason why I type it down is because this is the thing I wanted to convey, that I don't feel you understood. So picturing something doesn't make the thing exist, I agree, but it does allow people to understand what is evidence for the existence of said thing.
Well, why don't you just take the bait, T-Soon, and just answer his question?
I think the question's malformed. For instance,
Well,
I mean, if
but
I
just take
expected
it.
hypothetically, if I expected God existed hypothetically, I would expect to find more archaeological evidence of certain things mentioned in the Bible. For instance, I would expect to at least have a cleaner version of what Christianity is, rather than 2,000 denominations,
or even
scattered across.
one long white beard hair.
Yeah, or
At
even
least
like
one.
God flashing me in my dreams or something. Like there could be something out there, for instance, that is not just dust. I would have to examine. But unfortunately, I live in the world where I have not found such evidence.
So right there, this is why I asked the question, what does it look like? The answer to this question, the first one, was I need to find evidence of what happened in the Bible really happened in the world. Am I correct? Did I hear you correctly?
In a sense, yes.
Yeah.
Although the
So
reason why I went on that tangent earlier was because I found the question itself abductive and malformed.
yeah. So
But
the reason why I asked this question is because of this type of answer. This type of answer stands on a mistake of who God is. If you believe that God did the thing that is described in the Bible in real life, then you are mistaken of who God is. We are not talking about the same God. We are talking past each other. So if I were to present you evidence for a God, you would say that's not God because you're referring to a different God, a God that you and me agree doesn't exist.
well, Luke, you would agree, for instance, that I'm very flexible in defining things. So if you wanted to define X, Y, or Z as God, I'd be fine dissecting that, for instance, and that's what I'm trying to get to. What do you believe is God?
You are trying to get me somewhere. I'm not I'm not following.
I'm
For
trying to
you to answer
understand.
my question, what would a word with God look like? You need to get me somewhere.
Well, no, I said I'm already flexible in definitions, etc. I'm trying to understand what you view as God.
I'm a Catholic. You know what a Catholic is.
I know what a Catholic is, but I don't know how you personally identify with their doctrine. I don't know what kind of Catholic you are as well.
Yeah. From this knowledge of what Catholics are, you don't know what a God looks like in my worldview, or you don't have any idea.
Well, just instead of that, Luke, just give him a few things. Like, is it a long white beard? Is it a belly full of jelly? Is it like, what is it?
I can be vicious and give him the Eucharist, but I don't think he would like that.
Does he wear a Prada bag on his
Well,
left?
it's not a ridiculous question because many different Christians, even within the Catholic religion, have different variations of God. And so Tyson is trying to be intellectually honest and pinpoint the exact type of God that you are attempting to argue for.
Yes.
Yeah. But it is too much to answer in one sentence or in this conversation. What I can give you, like Travis suggested, is pointers of what he. Okay, let me pick up this this image, copy and paste it. Do you know what this is representing?
That's a town in Texas, Corpus Christi, the body of Christ.
Yeah. So you understand to your question, who is God? What does he look like? And with the joke of Travis, the white beard, I would answer, well, this is more likely what he looks like. If you want to, or to find a real physical representation of who God is, this is what he more likely look like than the beard one. Does it answer your question, Sisun, or is it too?
And to just add a little more clarity, I added one to translate what Luke said just below there. I mean, when you look up the kind of images people generally think of, I don't know if you agree with this, Luke, but do you think of this classic photo at all anything like this with regards to the? And I'm being serious. Like, there are Catholic there are Catholics that would be like, yeah, something like this, right? The old man with the.
I mean, my grandmother thought God was an actual person, like human in the sky kind of thing. I'm telling you. Like, so I mean, every Christian is different, even within, Catholicism, Orthodox Catholicism, everything. So
I mean, like, I'm not trying to extract an exact visual image of God.
Yes, you are. We're going to continue playing this game.
Apparently, like, I'm being interpreted like, yeah, this is what I would view as God. No, I don't need smut. I don't need smut. What I want is like quantifiers. What do you view as God's properties?
all powerful, all knowing, omni-gods, not omni-gods, limited in such as what,
And what are the theological ramifications in your view of such properties? Like that's where I'm trying to go.
Okay, so the omni-God, the question, is God omnipotent? I would say yes, but not the way you think, or most people think it is. So the better way to say it is most powerful, most knowledgeable, most
maximally powerful. That's usually what, that's usually what most, like Greg Bonson and stuff like that, even like William Lane Craig will say maximally powerful, all powerful within logical reason.
Mm-hmm.
So maximally all those things. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer your question, or can you now explain to me what did you expect to see in a world where God exists, or are you still unable to do that?
Well, yeah, I'm still open to explore a world where God exists, but you specifying those properties to me makes a world difference to me. Thank you, Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what do you want me to say? Like, I kind of already specified what I would expect to see if God existed. Do you want me to re-specify, or?
Yeah, the God you described was one, for example, where we find traces of floods, on Earth. That's one of the gods you described. Am I correct?
Well, we find some form of empirical evidence somewhere, right?
Like the global flood.
Yeah, or the problem of communication isn't so damn hard to understand because, like, for whatever reason, from my understanding, there is a problem here where Christianity or Christians claim that evidence for God is irrefutable, but there is little to no archaeological evidence for it, nor, I would argue, coherent transmission of the word. Really, the book of the Bible goes as far back as 5,000 years ago, and wasn't finished until, I believe, 2,000 years ago. So, I mean, God could have had a way more efficient way of conveying information to us. Would you not agree?
The way he conveyed it is by revelation. The book is just a result of it.
Well, how do you distinguish between someone smoking crack versus revelation?
The claims about the reality of the world, for example, again, we go back to the question: what do you expect to see if someone is giving you knowledge coming from God or coming from His mind? Is the knowledge that you receive correspond with reality or not?
The difference here was you answered with revelation, right? Knowledge is going to be revealed by God through revelation. And my question is, how do we distinguish between people with revelation and without revelation?
Let me type the answer. One, the description or the revealed thing correspond with reality. That's the answer I gave you earlier. Did you hear it?
Revealed with things that correspond with reality.
Did you hear me say that?
Now, after you talked it out, I did, but you said revelation earlier. No.
Did you hear me say that the revealed thing does correspond with reality and the one from the crackhead doesn't? Did you hear me say that, yes or no?
Now I did. But, okay. Are you going to...
I just wanted to make sure that you were following what I was saying, but I apparently no, you didn't get it the first time I said around, so I needed to write it down so that you get it for next time.
In my defense, though, you do have a thick accent and you do cut in and out sometimes, so I'm not able to hear the full extent.
I'm cutting a lot. I'm sorry. I wasn't aware I was cutting a lot.
But like, yeah, I mean, the only thing this here changes, I guess, is like, I guess in the Catholic Church's sense, I mean, how has anything been revealed, for instance, in the sense that corresponds with a reason why I should take the Catholic Church's side on the matter of God existing?
I don't
Why would
understand your
God-
question. I'm sorry.
Why would God? Why would I, let's say, take the information from the Catholic Church, right? Let's say hypothetically there's evidence that would, like, I don't even know what rough evidence I would need to take in your viewpoint here. I'm still trying to find it. Revealed with things that correspond with reality. I mean, that's kind of, in my opinion, self-justifying in a sense. Yes, you do have to take things that correspond with reality to be the case. But, I mean, what things correspond with divine providence or divine anything is my question to you, Luke.
You want an example of something that has been revealed by God? Is that your question?
Yes.
Murder is wrong.
It has been my question for the past 2 minutes to 3 to 4.
Murder is wrong.
Murder is wrong. Why is that divine?
Yeah, like the murder of the innocent kind of thing.
Okay. Why is that divine?
It does correspond with reality, and it has been revealed.
It has been revealed. How do you not know people just came up with the notion that killing another person is bad?
They told me so, and I trust them.
They told me so, and I trust them. Do you think that's a good way to identify objective truth?
Yes.
So you believe witness testimony is just a good source?
For this kind of for revelation, yes, it is. Do you have a better one?
I mean, the problem goes back all the way when I said, what's the difference between a crack smoking hobo versus a person that genuinely received revelation, right? How do you tell the difference between the two?
Do you want me to repeat the answer?
Yes, because your answer has been circular.
It's number one.
So the question
I quoted one.
So Tyson, you're asking basically how is Luke valuing a certain kind of testimony all over another kind of testimony. So Luke, how do you do that value sorting with regards to testimony? Like, does it matter who it's coming from, what's being said? Surely you have some way of epistemically sorting through the what should be taken as knowledge from testimony itself.
Yeah. So the reliable source, the source has to be reliable. That's the first thing.
How do you determine reliability?
It depends on the context.
Okay, like let's say someone you don't know anything about walks up to you and says, "I just saw Jesus Christ split the clouds open and whisper to me that everything is going to be fine.
Great.
Go with my love, my brother," and then went into the heavens. How do you deal with something like that? Someone you don't know.
I don't know him. So, well, and he's saying this. Oh, he says this is Jesus, right? He claims he's Jesus.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
just one sec. Let Luke answer this, and then you go, Tyson.
Yeah. So the first thing I would do is check if this person verified it with the Catholic Church. If I want to take it seriously, I do have a reliable source that I believe is reliable, the Catholic Church. If the Catholic Church, he checked with it, and they said, it was really Jesus who appeared to him, I do trust them, and therefore I trust him.
Surely,
is there any one of those people that are reasonable and reputable that could have been incorrect about a revelation from God?
Yeah, similarly, scientists could be reasonable and reliable when it comes for the shape of the Earth, and they could be wrong about the shape of the Earth,
Right.
even
So
if they are reliable.
Let's say
So
one of the
that's-
high
to
priests of
answer
the
your question, Thomas, the answer is yes, as much as some scientists.
So I'm not talking about scientists. Let's talk about a high
I am.
order priest in your area, right? Anybody, doesn't matter. And they say, I had a revelation from God. They could be a reasonable person. They could understand the doctrine. They could be a member of your church or whoever, whatever you need them to be. And they could still have an incorrect assumption that they had a revelation from God. Is that possible?
It is possible, like the scientist, it is possible to be wrong when it comes for the shape of the Earth, Thomas. You
Okay.
need to understand the reason why I'm having this conversation. The way I started the conversation is by comparing atheists with globe skeptics. And you are telling me I am not talking about globe skeptics, and I am. If you
Well,
want to
you're-
engage in this conversation,
Well-
you have to take that into account.
okay, but everyone in the room is just trying to honestly, because here's the situation. In the situation I pointed out to you, Luke, you're of course still, let's say ultimately you are going to rely on the scientific consensus or the consensus of the Catholic Church on these issues, but surely you're going to have your own feelings about what someone when someone makes a testimony like this. You're going to have your own feelings or predictions on whether or not this was a true experience or not. Like, I'm trying to understand, like, okay, you might think it's legitimate, but then ultimately it comes down to what the Catholic consensus says, and yeah, and then whether that agrees with you or not, you're going to go with the consensus of the Vatican or the with Catholicism or your priest or whatever.
That's correct. Like I do with the scientific community, I do use this source, reliable
Consensus.
source, as a source of knowledge. So similarly, if someone were to come up to me, I haven't checked with the science, I am not aware of about the shape of the Earth, and he says the Earth is spherical, right? I have had the revelation, or I made this calculus, some kind of calculation, and I measured that the shape is spherical. I will check with the scientific community. The first knee-jerk reaction, the question you ask, is I don't believe you. I don't see curve with my own eyes and senses. It is not curve, and therefore I don't believe what you're saying.
Yeah,
Similarly, the person who says that the sky opened and Jesus came up, I'm like, yeah, I don't observe that at first glance. Let me check with a reliable source when it comes to this.
And you're saying that the Catholic consensus is ultimately what's going to do that epistemic groundwork for you. They might investigate, they might not investigate, right? They might just say, we chose not to investigate for whatever reason. That doesn't necessarily mean at the end of the day that it's impossible that this happened, but they probably aren't investigating because they don't see that it's a likely enough occurrence to spend resources on investigating or something like that.
They have limited resources.
Yeah. So I understand you. I understand why you would give the example of scientific consensus as well. But yeah, someone else had a question. Go ahead.
It was. Well, I was not much of a question, but
Oh.
isn't one question is more like extreme than the other to fulfill. So like saying the Earth is round with our common with let's say up to the point of modern technology around the time that we started figuring out that the Earth was round is a much more less extraordinary claim than one with modern knowledge now saying that God exists. Or sorry, that God came down to that from the heavens to say something to you.
To who?
To
me?
the common consensus of what you would consider a scientific inquiry.
Right now, I have the knowledge from the scientific community, and I don't have the knowledge from the Catholic Church when it comes to this Jesus guy. It's not comparable.
But you would,
Okay.
you would find the consensus of the Catholic Church more. You would turn to the Catholic Church for the consensus of that like authority.
I'm not sure I understand the question. I'm sorry.
So you were saying earlier that like you were kind of appealing to authority when you were asking, or when you were saying you would ask the Catholic Church about like his validity of that claim.
Correct.
So I guess I'm confused on why you would ask the Catholic Church about
For the
that.
same reason I asked the scientific community about the shape of the Earth.
I don't see how that's transferable.
Okay. What?
So
why not?
Like, one is a personal claim about seeing, some divine intervention.
Mm-hmm.
How does that validate? How does the Catholic Church validate that versus a claim in science that's peer reviewed? Like, there's different steps to figure out a claim that's, presented in both fields.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay. Then yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So that's the thing about knowledge from things that you don't know. You have a reliable source, So if you want to make an analogy that is closer, it would be about resurrection. Resurrection is a known fact for all Christians. It's something that is as knowledgeable. It is taught to them since they were children, and it is a fact of what happened in the past. Jesus did resurrect, and the Catholic Church does teach that Jesus did resurrect. So if you compare resurrection with the shape of the Earth, those two are more aching or comparable than the guy telling me that he saw Jesus in the sky, and somebody else telling me that the Earth is spherical.
So Luke, you and we have you and Trey in the room here. What would you guys disagree on with regards to Jesus?
Hey, Luke. I'm a Christian, and you're Catholic, also a Christian. Trying to think. We might. I've been to the Catholic Church a couple of times. We might just disagree.
I give you the key.
Go for it.
It would be I would give you the keys. So Jesus said, "I give the keys to Peter and the others, the keys of heaven." The meaning behind this would be, if you're a Protestant, that would be the thing that we would disagree on when it comes to Jesus.
What do you mean by that? I'll give you the keys. What does that mean?
So Jesus gave the keys to Peter when he say, "On that rock I will build my church," and this kind of phrase. Did you remember that context?
No, can you explain it?
There was a time Jesus was talking to Simon at the time, and he says, "Now your name is Peter. I will build the church on that rock." That because you're like a rock, I think, and it does translate better in French. Sorry, but I don't know if in English it says the same thing. But there is some kind of keys that Jesus gave to Peter that he didn't give to his other disciples. Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not. The only thing I can think of right now is I think Catholics, you can kind of just like go and say and confess your sins, and then basically you're cleansed. Is that right?
Yes. Well, you can pray.
Okay. Well, my understanding is that you go to communion, you confess your sins, you do what the priest tells you, like say 5 Hail Marys or whatever, and then you can essentially get to heaven. Is that right?
It's more complicated than that.
Okay. Yeah. I must have like I probably don't have like a scholarly or like a super in-depth understanding of Catholicism, but I do feel Catholicism is in my history, I would say, and but I think that's the only thing I could think of. I mean, I totally respect Catholics, but I wanted to ask you something when you said when you made your claim. You said that Christians want to convince atheists, but what do you say if I don't really care to?
It was according to the conversation that was happening when I joined in, and they were talking about how Christian wanted to convince people for them to come into their group. I'm like, yeah, but convince in the sense of me trying to convince the globe skeptics that the Earth is a globe.
Okay,
that's what I meant. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Christians, at least in my little area here, we kind of just believe that if you believe that Christ died for your sins and resurrected, then you can get to heaven. What do you think about that?
Yes, that's true. If you, I am the path, the way, and what's the third thing?
The way,
and the truth.
The way, the truth, and the life. Yeah.
And so Jesus said that. I do believe this is true, and therefore, if you do follow Jesus, you will get to heaven.
I don't think that we're that far off. Just that Catholics may have a little bit more of works that you need to do, but I don't think we're far off at all.
Luke, do you believe in demonic possession? Do you think this actually happens?
Yeah, there are exorcists. Yeah.
And Trey, do you believe in demonic possession? Do you think this actually happens?
I don't think that something like, if it is, Travis, I don't think it's like the way it's portrayed in the movies. If demonic possession happens,
well, I thought The Exorcist was a documentary.
No, it wasn't.
Hey, you know what? The Exorcist is a great movie. Okay.
Well, I think
it's the good, not great.
Most Catholics probably believe, like Luke, right, about possessions and exorcisms. Someone just wrote neck vagina in the chat.
To the answer to the question, what do you expect to see if there was a demonic possession? That's the answer to the question. That's what you expect to see.
I really hope that's not what I expect to see.
I doubt anyone here would say that those movies are garbage. I doubt anybody here would say that.
But my thing is like, obviously either the Trey Christian or the Luke Catholic is right about demonic possessions. For me, I agree with Trey. I don't believe they actually happen. But like on that particular issue, Luke, is there anything that you would look for to sort out legitimate demonic possessions from illegitimate ones? I have a feeling I know what you're going to say. The consensus, the consensus of the Catholic Church.
Judgment.
Yes. Do you know how they do that sorting? I guess. Are you familiar?
Okay. Priest.
Okay.
And they told me about the method that they use, and how they exorcise. I don't know how to say that.
Exorcise your demons. Yeah.
Exorcise the demon.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it is rare. That's the first thing that I learned. I thought it was often, but it is a rare event. Most people, or most cases that he's called into, is not about demonic possession. It is about schizophrenia or this kind of psychological thing, behavior. Like a disease.
But then there are some that are supposedly legitimate and they're rare. Do you know of any legitimate cases that we could pull up and look at?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they are not publicized for a reason. The priest told me that the devil used those events to seep into the mind of others. So, do you know about voodoo?
I remember seeing voodoo in like the Frog and the Princess movie. I think it was that guy who sings about voodoo. But yeah, I have a general understanding of voodoo, I feel like.
Vampire Diaries is one of those TV show where they depicted voodoo the best. To my knowledge, this is what voodoo looks like. If you want to learn about voodoo, look at the voodoo arc on Vampire Diaries. So the voodoo is one of those let's say it's not a religion, or how do you call anyway, demonic religion, where it is a known fact that for one good you have three bads. Okay? Three bad thing happens for one good thing to happen. It is a known fact. So the exorcist told me that it is how the devil does behave. There is, for something good to happen, there must happen three things that are bad for him to be able to compensate the good thing that happened. You know, for him to be able to do the right thing or the good thing, it must happen three. So for that reason, they do not publish the cases of people that had been exorcised. They are kept at the demand of the family often, but also to prevent the rest of the population to get affected and have those three bads that needs to happen after this good thing happen.
I'm just looking to see if there's any documented cases that the Catholic Church have allowed to slip out or anything. I'm just having a look. Go ahead, Trey.
I've researched into that because I have watched all of the movies because they are awesome. But no, I think if we were to look at an actual demonic possession, I don't think it would be so overt. I think it would kind of just be somebody.
I get what you're
being unable to escape from sin.
Yeah, like and then like orange hair would like sprout out of the top of their head, and they would kind of become obese and rule a country and have their finger on the nuclear warhead and talk like this. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Maybe. I don't know.
Or maybe they'd be more subdued. Like, I don't know, someone that comes to mind is maybe Vladimir Putin.
It might be your best friend. You never know.
Yeah, maybe it's Thomas over here.
Maybe. Fuck it.
Probably.
If there are extraordinary events that do happen during the exorcism, so object moving, noise, voices, those kind of things are true.
And they're true because at the end of the day, you put your faith kind of epistemically in the church's process, because it's different. Let's look at how this analogy is different, right? Because the church isn't engaging in empiricism in the same way that scientific consensus cares about empiricism. Like, because if scientific consensus was to, if the engine of scientific consensus was to look at these exorcism cases, they're almost certainly going to come up with, these were cases of mental health. They would give like a plausible, explanation that didn't have anything to do with like demons or anything like that. So there is, well, maybe, I mean, like if what the Catholic Church is saying is true, that there's actually items of the room, the book flinging against the wall for some reason, and things shifting around. Yeah, I mean, if you had a team doing scientific analysis, physicists, chemists, biologists, all of them in the room looking at this happening, and then they have to come up with a reason as to how that could have occurred. They would probably say, some level of trickery would probably be the most likely thing going on. Like,
no, they would say we don't know. They're not weird.
I don't think they would say
don't understand. They don't know.
But they could offer plausible explanations for like a book flinging across the road, right? It would most
does.
Huh?
Not the way it does in those events. So
how do you know? Wait a second. How do you know about these events?
Yeah.
Sorry,
so
go ahead.
The reason why I know that would be their answer is based on what happened in the past when scientists did observe or investigated miracles that are supernatural events, things that we classify as supernatural. The answer they share with the rest of the world is that we don't know. We don't understand what happened. We do not have an explanation on what happened then.
And then so they might say that. I'll just grant that they might say that. I don't need to quibble about the other things. But then the Catholic Church comes around and says, but we know.
We knew before.
Or before. Like, I'm just thinking of a scenario where if the scientists were in the room, right? And then the Catholic Church is claiming to know something that the scientists wouldn't know, right?
I'm not so sure about that, Travis. When you look at what science is missing now, I don't think that the Catholic Church, or any other church for that matter, claims to know exactly what is going on. I mean, they might say that God is responsible,
but I'm saying
the exact formula.
I'm just saying
like dark matter. Like, we can't explain dark matter now. We can't explain why galaxies are moving.
Yeah, but we're going in a different direction of where I'm going. I'm just saying that for the Catholic priests, the exorcisms that happen where they actually do believe that they had a legitimate exorcism, like Luke said, that there are some, albeit rare, cases that have been verified to be legitimate exorcisms with demons. I'm saying in those situations, if the scientists would have been in the room for those situations, the scientists might have very well said, we don't know what the hell went on here. But then the Catholic priest and later the Catholic consensus would have said, but we know. And then the scientists would be like, oh, come on, share with us what you know. And they would share what?
That it was a demon? The knowledge that it was a demon that was exercised?
Yeah, they would make the claims. They would propose that this was an actual demonic possession and exorcism, and then the scientists would ask for, interesting, how do you know it was?
Revelation itself.
That's what I'm getting to. So the revelation part is the part that is different, and that's a big difference between the process of scientific consensus and the process of Catholic consensus that we're talking about here, because revelation is basically given primacy, I feel.
It is always given primacy. When you measure the shape of the earth, it is revelation. The information that you receive from the scientist who does measure who does make the measurement, give testimony of the measurement he made. You have revelation from this person. He could be lying. He could say something wrong. There are others that do reveal the information to him through the mouth and ears and eyes.
but I'm not. But surely you understand that there's a difference between Catholic revelation and scientific revelation.
No, it sounds.
You don't see a difference?
It sounds to me
like
the
process is way more complex scientifically than it is. Like
well, this is what I'm saying.
Everybody that hates each other in the room.
No, it just sounds
like they
all
come to the same scientific consensus, but they might not all come to the same consensus.
It honestly just sounds like a hypothesis. That's it.
there's an obvious difference between science testimony and Catholic Church saying he saw a book fling across the room testimony. Yeah. Science is testimony plus a lot of things: repeatability, peer review, falsifiability, a whole bunch of important things that the Catholic Church doesn't give a rat's ass about. So to synonymize these two and put them on equal playing field, I think is pure cope, epistemologically.
I mean, that sounds like cope. What you just said, like the Catholic priest.
The Niv Uno. We really did turn Trey into
the Catholic. The Catholic priest that came up with the Big Bang Theory was, the guy that.
Yeah, he used science.
But this was physics, right?
He just came up with it. He
didn't use the Catholic Church.
Can't we just agree that there's a difference between physics and religious revelation? Like that's literally all we're saying here.
I hope so.
What I'm saying is that these things aren't mutually exclusive. Like it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, we're not saying that they're pure dichotomies. Obviously, there's overlap with the testimony. But to say that because a guy who believed in Jesus used the scientific method to come up with the Big Bang means that all of the Catholic Church's testimonies are now on equal playing ground.
Nobody said that.
Well, then what was the point of bringing up the Catholic dude that discovered the Big Bang theory?
Because a Catholic is just as fine using science compared to a scientist.
Yeah, okay. No, as long as you agree that they are using science.
Yeah.
To go back to the outset of the exorcism and the book flinging across the room, and Luke says, oh, it's the primacy of the revelation of the bishop. This is not the same thing as primacy of science. These are two different things. While, of course, not mutually exclusive and dichotomous, they overlap, of course, but these are meaningfully distinct, two different. To put them on equal playing ground, I think, is a huge mistake.
I have a question.
Yeah,
it depends also what you're trying to go for.
Yeah. And also, everything's been going on for a while. So after Donald Duck goes, anyone else who wants to jump in, we got Heron back, who I'd love to hear from, and we got Barry McKickener as well.
Wild name.
Don't pronounce it correctly into the mic, please.
If a Catholic scientist were to do experiments on gravity, right? He wants to provide proof that gravity exists. Does this sound like all the scientists would trust him if he were to say, I dropped a ball, I watched it move, it was God. Therefore, gravity, the mechanics behind gravity is God.
No Catholic scientists would say that. There's actually
a stigma. Hypothetical. He's asking a hypothetical.
I'm just asking a question.
How dare you, sir?
So you're asking something
I'm saying that can he put validity behind his math? Let's say he does come up with the math. He puts validity behind the way he reached his answer, that he put God there.
So you're coming up with something that's not real. Okay.
No. I'm not. This is just
hypothetical. Does not mean
something. This is something large, right? You have to be able to answer hypotheticals because there are implications to hypotheticals. Actually, a huge portion of Newton's scientific revelations was that he attributed them to God, right? So this isn't just a half-assed question. Well, this is something that has some sort of implication.
It was the last thing he found out. He said, at the end of my knowledge to and fro, I trace my finger across the skies and the gods take over. Yeah, that he did say that. But
that sounds like a deepity to me. I don't know, but that wasn't actually part of the question. The question was, is it valid for him to attribute that proof to God? would he still be sitting at the rest of the table with all the other scientists?
Well, no, I don't think it's valid.
Why no?
Oh, well, I don't think it's valid because you can't attribute something without evidence or proof of it.
Okay, I see. Yes. Okay. All right.
But that I think you're saying that what you're saying actually is I watched a debate recently. There's a huge like what's that called in science? If you're a believer, if you're a believer in science, there is a stigma. That's the word. There's a stigma against you. So you do have to be careful when you're bringing this kind of stuff up because
Did you just say
what stigma is against what?
Wait,
talking about scientism.
Waypoint, you have you're getting background sound there. Waypoint. You gotta mute your YouTube stream.
Holy guac, bro.
It's all good.
This is just one study.
Let's let Trey watch the debate again, and so you can figure out what he means.
If you want, I can link the debate for you.
Yeah, let's all watch the 50-minute debate.
No, dude, it's 2 hours.
Just for the one question, gang.
No, man, it's just a 7-hour audiobook. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
here's my 7-hour audio book. This is proof of why I believe what I believe.
Okay. Is there? But you do know that there's a stigma in science, kind of against like religious beliefs,
about
right?
What?
Against religious beliefs.
Well, I mean, a lot of scientists understand that. I think the majority of scientists believe in God, right? I'm pretty sure. I think that's statistically true.
They do,
isn't it?
They do. 40% of scientists are atheists, and I believe the rest.
Yeah, let's take a look.
I believe it's the opposite. 60% are atheists.
Are we really quibbling over 20% right now? I'm gonna end myself.
Let's do it.
What percentage?
Here's a 15-minute. Here's a 15-minute video describing the percentage of.
I'm just trying to be factual.
No, Trey's doing the right thing. He's
we're just playing Trey.
He's fighting for truth.
All right, so this was higher than last year's. It says about 51% of American scientists to believe in a higher power. So 51 is just slightly. It's gone up.
Is when
49% of them are atheists.
And by the way, do they offer the definition that higher power means you smoke a doobie and you like look up into the sky at night and say, "There's got to be something out there."
They absolutely do. 33% believe in God. 18 believe in a universal spirit or higher power. 48 have no religious affiliation, and 9%
Ooh, Ray,
have no doubt
Trey,
that God exists.
Trey, how does that feel? How does that feel? Sizzled.
5149.
I would like to add that if you go to the National Academy of Sciences, though, and look at how many scientists of that who are in that actually believe in God, and look at how many physicists believe in God, that you will see that number shrink.
They do,
by great numbers. So, when you say scientists, you are lumping biologists. You are lumping like many people of many.
A lot. Yeah, I mean,
you're lumping biologists.
Destroy the psychological. Science doesn't necessarily destroy the psychological personal viability of religious thought or spiritual thought for these scientists. I mean, it's sometimes not even connected.
Well, that's the great part is that the sciences, when done properly, overcome the the underbelly religious beliefs that people carry with them throughout their life. That's the best part about it.
You can't tell,
but
I'm clapping now.
Yeah, this includes biologists, chemists, alchemists, like all of the well trusted sciences out there, especially alchemy.
What about
Robin? You're not supposed to catch it. I'm waiting for the alchemist to unmute and be like, finally, someone give an alchemy that's.
Tyson.
Wait.
Said that.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Wait,
Robin, 1 second. Wavepoint's been trying to get in. Go ahead, Wavepoint.
Tyler said that 40% of American scientists believe in a personal God who hears and answers prayers, but among elite scientists, especially members of the U.S. National Academy of Sciences, only about 7% hold that belief.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested too in like if you're looking at global numbers, that would have to take into account people who live in countries where you're born to be forced a Muslim, and then it's illegal to not be a Muslim after you're born that way.
Well, surely most doctors in the world like are in India. It's like how many, like between India and China and Japan, like how many doctors, what percentage is that? Yeah. So, you know,
what's the ratio of 1 to 1 million to 1 to 1 million in the US?
Well, what's the ratio of scientists that say like they just give up on their theory and say God did it? That's what I'm curious. Right.
Well,
right,
it used to be much higher, right? That's how they would put their kids to sleep. Yeah. Why? Because God did it, and God's watching you right now. And if you don't go to sleep, God's going to smite you for that. So get to sleep.
Yeah, go to bed. Go to bed and shut up.
I don't know
think that was also my question, by the way. I just want to point that out. That's not how my question was posed.
But I think that's
it was
a good
not
question,
that they put
though,
down proof. It's just that they ultimately say that God is like.
Yeah, I think they ultimately fall into like the God of the gaps. I don't know what the stat would be, but I think if a scientist does ultimately believe in some higher power, some omnipotence, then both knowns and unknowns, I imagine they believe is a result of God. At the end of the day, they can give whatever equation for gravity and electromagnetism, but underneath that will be, I imagine, unless they have some very nuanced, theistic position where God isn't really all that. He's like more like a superhero or something. I don't know.
I've never read a scientific paper that, like, at the conclusion, it just goes like, "Well,
you're right."
Listen,
Yeah, because it's not science; it's theology.
Right.
They wouldn't put theology in a science paper.
You're proving to yourself that you know that like the process of science is different compared to the process
Correct.
of
They are not on the
revelation
same
spiritually.
task.
You are proving that to yourself right now.
I'm proving that your question was wrong, but okay.
Well, I don't know how a question can be wrong, but
well,
I was trying to tell you that that they don't do that. They don't mean.
You're good. I get it. But I gotta go. We need to talk more about the Crusades
don't
next time.
leave.
No, hey!
I have to.
Who the hell are we supposed to punch now that you're leaving?
Luke.
Yeah.
Luke.
Okay, I'll punch Luke.
There's Snowdrop. There's Murdy Man, who's been trying to get
I talked to more Christians than I have in my entire life the last couple days at that debate con thing. And like literally everybody that I talked to was Eastern Orthodox and creationists.
Right.
So it was like a different, like I know that they exist, but I never talked to them. So it was interesting, like talking about a bunch of stuff with them because like they would ask about like moral realism and I'd try to explain how I think it comes about. And then I'd have to stop and be like, well, wait, you don't accept my premise. That's going to like explain it from my point of view.
So are you saved now?
Oh yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
You have escaped hell, my friend. You don't have to burn forever like Thomas over here, who's not only from Alabama, but gay as Elton John's bunghole.
Yeah.
Straight to hell.
Catholicism has more of a cop out than.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's whatever. Well, it's whatever the church says.
The church says.
I don't mind it because there's a lot of people who try to like do their own pretzel philosophy to like marry cosmology and theology.
Yes, I give those people more credit.
Honestly,
well, yeah, I mean,
they do more thinking, you know.
Honestly, Luke's structure there is way more impressive to me than the stuff you're talking about. Like, I think the fact that Luke has like, it's like, I'm not just going to do this myself. Like, I'm going to appeal to the experts, even though the experts are dabbling in the field of revelation and whatever, and like investigating miracles and taking into consideration what science wouldn't be able to tell us anyway, because it's in this miracle realm or whatever. That structure is still better, I think, than like people going around and being like, I'm just going to believe what that person told me about Jesus in the clouds, and no one's going to tell me otherwise. It's like, they're not even listening to experts or nothing. They're just going to believe what anyone tells them. So, yeah.
They're both dog shit. But yeah.
Have any of you guys ever heard Dr. Dino?
No.
Oh, Ken Ham or whatever?
Oh, Ken Ham? Yeah. Oh, Hovind. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dr.
Yeah, Ken Hovind. Sorry.
Yeah, Ken Hovind. Yeah.
He's got like 250 debates where he has like slideshows and all this stuff. And
yeah,
it seems like he always picks whatever the person he's debating is. Like, let's say that they're like an astronomer or something. Like, he would not use any of those arguments. Then he would use only evolution. And then if they're an evolution person, he would only talk about the moon.
Did you see the debate with Bill Nye? I think it was. Yeah,
that was with Ken Ham. Ham.
Yeah. He has Kent has over 500 debates.
Ken Hovind.
Yeah, and
Robin intimately knows that stuff.
Yes, I know all about. I know people that live there actually.
Yeah, the one I saw was like 6 years ago, and he said like 250, so that makes sense.
Yeah, he has like 500 debates. Almost everybody I know has like they debate him as like an opening. I don't know, Leo. Like, I don't know if Leo, have you debated Kent? I was thinking you probably had. I don't know. He might not want to talk, but yeah.
He's like a vibe. Hovind is like a vibes based, like, oh, these people think we came from monkeys, and
he knows.
Give like a few.
He's very crafty at tying in his scientific knowledge with creationism. Like he's actually, I would say he's one of the best in the world at doing that in a convincing way. Obviously, when you get a 2-cent education, you can understand what he's doing, but and
he's a doctor, but it's really like a religion thing, and he tries to pass it off like he's a science doctor. And like somebody called in and asked a question, and they asked, "Can you tell us what your thesis was on?" And he's like, "I don't think that really matters," and he wouldn't answer the question.
Yeah, he doesn't defend creationism. Like he does not ever.
Doesn't
do
he?
Any kind of argument? No.
Oh,
like no. That
might be Ham.
Ken Ham.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Ham does that.
Yeah.
Ken Ham has like a whole, the Creation Institute or whatever it is,
but
that does all of that. But Kent Hovind is a purely a person who tries to poke holes
in evolution, right?
And he doesn't even do a very good job. He does it from a really silly, like, you think you're related to a banana.
No,
dogs have non-dogs and
but in the same way, a lay person can be flipping through the channels and get turned on by some, televangelist. He has that same charisma, I feel like, behind his performance that can suck people in and make people feel good about pointing at evolution and thinking it's a stupid idea.
Yeah. He's if somebody's completely ignorant about how evolution works and stuff, then they kind of, and they don't know how to like. I mean, like he does not ever defend. None of his debates are defending creationism. He is totally, just like I said, dogs don't give birth to non-dogs.
Why do I feel like I've seen him? Are you sure about that, Robin? I'm just double checking it because I'm pretty sure I've seen him in a creationist debate. So yes, Kent Hovind is a prominent defender of young Earth creationism. He argues that Genesis should be interpreted largely. Just 1 second. Genesis should be interpreted largely as literal history. Earth and the universe are only 6,000 years old. Humans and dinosaurs coexisted. Noah's global flood produced many geological features and fossils. Evolutionary common descent is false. So my experience of Kent Hovind content, and maybe it's his older stuff, he does defend young Earth creationism.
They have called him Dino Man before, Robin.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I've watched a bunch of his debates, and like you cannot get him to agree to a debate where he has to defend creationism. He will, he will always just come and do the evolution token.
But Robin, he's been doing this for like 40 years, right? Like you can look up Kent Hovind's creation seminars that are on global TV. You can look up he does all kinds of creation seminars. Maybe he doesn't do it now, but yeah, this is what he's known for. Like, yes, he does. His shtick has always been go through like the ridiculous elements of, what he sees as ridiculous aspects of evolution by natural selection, and then he will start tying in creationism and how it gives better answers to these questions. But
he's got like a theme park where he has like animatronic
no. That's Ken Ham. Good Lord.
Confusing these two, bro.
No, he says he's in Alabama and he invites people to come to Dino World.
Yeah, that's Ken Ham. Yeah.
No,
I don't think that's in Alabama. I think it's in Tennessee.
Ken Hovind is Alabama. He's in Lenox, Alabama. Yeah, but he doesn't.
Oh my God, he's right. Ken Hovind has a dinosaur park.
Yeah, he has.
Jesus Christ!
Dinosaur.
He's Dr.
Ken fucking Ham does.
There are no dinosaurs at Dinosaur Adventureland. There are no dinosaurs there.
Okay, I'm just posting the photos. So this is Ken Ham. He debated Bill Nye.
Now he has a whole
bro. You look at him. How can you say he's not from a monkey?
And here's Kent Hovind's. And here's Kent Hovind's mugshot. No, I don't know if it's a mugshot. I'm just kidding. Kent Hovind. Then this is Kent Hovind.
That's a chat of a man.
I mean, they're getting it from somewhere. What up, everyone? Welcome. Come and join us in the Discord server. Stop hanging out on YouTube like a bunch of chickens. Come and debate us. Give us your hottest take. I mean, it shouldn't be too hard after Trey's run there. No, I'm kidding, Trey. I love you.
Hottest take: pineapple does not belong on pizza.
I love pineapple on pizza. Fuck off.
Oh my God, Travis.
No, I do. I literally do. But if it's done, you know what's weird? We just ordered pizza here tonight. I live in Oaxaca, Mexico. It's not pineapple on pizza, but durazno peaches, like canned peaches on pizza.
Blasphemy.
It tastes fine, but I'm just like, why while I'm eating it? I don't know.
Where's your?
So I have one more thing I need to mention about where I was this weekend at the DebateCon thing.
Oh yeah, how
during
was that
one of the
thing?
things? It was interesting. Like it's pretty much like a Andrew Wilson fan club meeting.
Oh yeah.
Like that was like everybody was there for him. And at one point, somebody asked the crowd how many people want the 19th Amendment that says women can vote repealed, and like 30% of the room like rocketed their hands up in the air. Yeah,
wow.
Like immediately, like it wasn't even like it took a second. Like they're like, "Yep."
Hey, that's a good anecdote because I've been pissing off all of those people today on X. I rarely go on X, and someone was passing around the most retarded excerpt from that event I've almost ever seen, and I was just like, this is like the most low resolution childish crap I've ever seen. And then people got really upset, which was great. Then we had some conversations. Rachel, right? Oh yeah. Andrew Wilson and his wife seemed to get upset about that. I don't know. Maybe they're investors in that modern day debate thing that is, of course, if you read their poster, completely neutral. Remember that.
Yes.
Yeah, and
completely neutral platform.
Drink the Kool-Aid, folks. Advertisers or sponsors, and one of them was to get the church and state thing removed from the Constitution or whatever.
Oh,
and then the other one was something like equally like crazy Christian. I forget what it was though.
Yeah, that sounds neutral. Yep.
Yeah.
But what I love is Andrew and his wife. His wife will argue that women's right to vote should be overturned too, but she still votes because I mean, like when they ask her, "Well, do you vote?" Yes, of course she does because she's a hypocrite. Yes, she still votes even though she don't think women should vote.
But what I saw is just these two debaters on stage trying to bully each other in front of the audience, and the audience was laughing and clapping, and there was a question asked by someone that was obviously just a question to try and like trigger the person on stage, or make them feel like they don't know anything. Like it seems like a really bad faith, unhelpful platform, if you ask me.
It was like the Plato question, wasn't it? Like some gotcha about.
Yeah, it was. They said to Not So Erudite, name one work by Aristotle and one work by Hegel, and they acted. The people were acting like every person that has some philosophy education is going to know works of Hegel. First of all, you try reading through phenomenology. You try reading through phenomenology of spirit, and get back to me on that one. I would say that's his most famous work. But like, and even if Not So Erudite, like she knows, she has some things that she finds useful from Aristotle and Hegel. That doesn't mean she doesn't know anything about philosophy or anything like that. But I saw a lot of like, brain dead thinking on X, which I tend to not look at much, but with regards to like, people, oh, that person owned that fucking cunt, and all of this, the use of language is just like faggot this, faggot that, cunt this, cunt that, slut, whore. Like it's just mentally inept content that I see being generated by that crowd. So I don't know what's going on.
Even joking, the very first thing someone said to me, I walked up to like a group and one of them kind of like jokingly looked over. He goes, "You're not a faggot, are you?"
Really?
Yeah.
Like I didn't hear it the rest of the time, but it was the first sentence somebody said to me when I was there. So I was just like, "Wow, what did I get myself into?"
You should have got down on your. You should have got down
Muslims
on your
being inbred and stuff.
Right. You should have got down on your knees and started moving your head right towards their penis. See what they did.
There's
Travis,
no hate like the
they
Christian
off-Reddit,
love
too.
that you get on modern day debate. Like they're the most unchristian like people.
Oh yeah, so. Like it says on the banner, right? It says neutral debate platform. Don't forget. That's yeah. No such thing, folks.
To answer the questions.
What questions?
The ones I keep referring to.
What do you expect to see if there was a demonic possession? I expect to see foam out of the mouth. I expect to see eyes rolling back in the head. I expect to hear people speaking in tongues. Vashkala kanta alala moko alala kuku alala mama. Something similar to that.
Because record it?
Why?
Shouldn't they record it so they can show their friends?
Well, yeah, record the demonic possessions, yes. But Luke was saying that the Catholic Church puts a rap on the legitimate ones, but surely knowing the nature of fallen man, someone's going to leak that stuff out to try and make profit.
If you just become an atheist, the demons leave you alone. It's amazing. Like why
do you expect to see that?
Zero cases. We have zero cases of demonic possession of atheists.
Oh my god! I didn't know.
So it's
something I feel like Luke would disagree, and Robin, he might consider you a demonic possession.
Okay.
No. I would never. So the question is, why do you expect to see that?
Oh, I thought it said, what do you expect to see? Not why.
Yeah, and once you have the description of what you do expect to see, why is the next question.
Yes. Kind of the same reasons, pop culture, because I think these things, and I know you disagree with this, Luke, but I think these things are like pop culture memes that get passed around throughout history, like the alien abduction thing, and then you start seeing, you know, this stuff in the culture, in movies and things like that. If my genuine answer to you, if you're to say what do you expect to see if there was a demonic possession, I don't have any expectations. Like, it's like the question where you usually ask me, like, you know, what would evidence for the existence of God look like? And, you know, normally I would say, I don't know. That's not up to me. But because you push me so hard on that, I tend to start giving an answer like, you know, perhaps it's a conversation or an experience I happen in my mind with God, where God reveals something to me and then my mind is changed and now I believe. So that would be like, you know, the evidence would just be the personal experience. But.
Yeah. All good evidence is personal experience. You know, like the globe skeptic who says, "I want to get out in space and look at the Earth from
empiricism."
Space, kind of thing.
Empiricism is based on sensory experience, but there's other layers to it where, you know, someone who's doing good empiricism isn't just going to believe. Like, let's say if it's likely that they were just dreaming and there was a monster chasing them, right? Like a good empiricist is not going to believe that was happening mind independently. Like, they would have good reason to believe that, even though, you know, their sense making was being stimulated as though it were happening mind independently. It's almost certainly the case that it was happening mind dependently. Oh my God, why did you post that picture of that bear with worms coming out of its butt? Yikes.
So yeah, the reason why I ask why, and your answer from what I hear is that because of movies, or the other reason, or the other answer is I don't know really what to expect. Those are the two answers you shared with us, right? Am I correct or am I mistaken?
Sorry, can you say that last part again? I got distracted by something.
Okay. So to the question, why do you expect to see that?
Yeah.
The first answer was because of movies and books. And the second one was I don't know what to expect to see. Like, you don't know what you expect to see if there was a God on Earth or God was real. So the second part about personal revelation, the answer that you gave when I push you on, and the fact that I say, well, the globe skeptics also would say personal revelation would be a good tool for him to believe that the Earth is spherical, right? He would say, put me to in space and let me see the Earth with my own eyes, right? Right or wrong?
Yeah, I think that's generally right.
Yeah. So that's why I ask those questions, because people who says this is what I need, or for me to, I say this is unreasonable. Do you agree it is unreasonable?
No.
For the globe skeptic, do you agree it is reasonable now?
The globe skeptic, no, that position is not reasonable.
Yeah, but is it unreasonable for the globe skeptic to ask for him to be in space to be able to be convinced that the Earth is spherical?
Yes.
Okay, why is it reasonable for you to ask to have a personal conversation with God, and unreasonable for the globe skeptic to ask to see the Earth with his own eyes?
Different levels of verifiability. So, like, just the claims, the propositions are different, right? We're going to require. We're going to no, they're not.
No, I don't say difference. That's why I ask why one is reasonable and the other one is not.
Well, it seems to be the case that we cannot demonstrate the existence of God empirically in any way. and we can demonstrate the shape of the earth in many different ways. So it has to do with it has to do with the claim itself. Like some would say, the existence of God is an unfalsifiable proposition.
I disagree,
and
yeah.
I would disagree. Like, I know there are no gods based on my epistemic standards. So I can know that there aren't all kinds of different things, like aliens that have visited planet Earth, and devils and demons and leprechauns and Santa Clauses and these things. But I don't know. I just think it does matter. Like, I do want to get a Heron in, though.
You'll get it, Trav. It's Aharon.
Aharon.
Yeah, you got it. It's Aaron in Hebrew. It's Aharon.
I'm just going to spell it correctly in the chat. Aharon. There we go.
So I'm just I came in at one point and I'm trying to catch up. Is it Luke's contention that the world is not round, a globe, and that we can't prove it's a globe?
No, I think he believes it's
no.
Yeah, go ahead, Luke.
Yeah. My contention is that globe skeptics require similar evidence that Travis requires when it comes to the existence of God. Both of them are unreasonable. That's my contentment. The requirement for the globe skeptic is to be able to see the earth with his own eyes. The requirement from Travis to believe that there is a God is to have a conversation with God. I'm saying that both of them are equal.
Yeah, but don't you think that like empiricism, like you can measure that the earth is round without observing it? So I think Travis would say that, right? Like,
who is we?
Yeah,
what?
Travis probably has
we can measure. Who is the we that you're referring to?
Any human on the earth. What do you mean? Like any human on the earth can observe that the earth is round without like seeing it from space easily.
You claim that, but the globe skeptics would disagree with you. Do we agree?
Yeah, but they're highly misinformed because the places they're getting their right, but this is the key to
Travis
everything.
Highly misinformed.
No, because I mean, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I'm saying, like, I think measuring, being able to measure something and observe it is different than like visibly seeing it firsthand. Like it doesn't necessitate that, correct? So like
Travis said that he wants to be able to have a chat with God.
Okay.
It's instant related.
What?
What? Yeah, I don't understand.
You're chatting with God, bro.
If I had the opportunity to talk with God,
even then you wouldn't know. Even then you wouldn't.
Well, look, maybe you weren't there, but to the question, what would prove you that there is a God? Travis answered, I don't know, but if you push me, I will answer that I need God to have a conversation with God. From this conversation, I will conclude that he exists. So, in one word, personal revelation is what he needs.
Can I
that's his answer.
Can I offer like a similar analogy? If you can entertain me for a second. So like let's say like an alien or excuse me, like a flying saucer appeared over your head, right? And then it landed and like a little green dude came out. Like, is that enough to affirm that that's an alien for you?
No.
Okay. So like Travis, like I would argue that if that's Travis's standard for God, then it's still lackluster because you can't prove that the person talking to you is God. Like, how do you?
Well, the thing is, let's put a little context in here. Let's put a little context in here.
Yeah, because I'm pushing.
If I am pushed to give my best possible answer as to what kind of scenario could change my mind about the existence of God, the best foot I can put forward is something that would happen mind dependently within my mind. That is maybe some kind of like really real feeling that I'm in the presence of Jesus and having a conversation, and something Jesus says changes the brain state of Travis Pangburn. I'm a fallible, human being just like anyone else. I have cognitive limitations. Surely there is some combination of experience tied into Jesus or something that could happen within my brain that would overcome, whatever epistemic quibblings I have with the existence of God,
Sure.
right? So I'm just saying that is my best effort to give a scenario of what would cause me to change my mind.
Yeah, but you not Travis, the other guy. Like you have to concede that is totally different than flat Earth as a standard, right?
It's not flat Earth. It's a globe skeptic. So globe skepticism is a bit different in the sense
about
that
the cube earthers, bro.
They are just
the triangle.
Yeah, the difference. Great. So you me, is it different? I would say no. I don't see why one is unreasonable and the other is not unreasonable.
Because your standard
about personal revelation. One is God talking to me. The other one is seeing the word with his eyes. Both of them do change the brain state of the observer or the one that is a subject that has the revelation.
Do you think? Wait, hold on. Okay, sorry, I'll stop.
Proof of burden.
Proof of burden of proof.
Burden of proof. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So here, I'm curious about this. Do you think ghosts and aliens are the same level of possible to be real?
I haven't studied neither enough to know.
But one could exist within the confines of the Earth, like within the confines of the universe, right? And then the other is like a supernatural thing. So it's like, how would you even verify that it was a ghost? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no
I don't know what you are talking about when you're saying ghost. I haven't studied it enough, Moloch.
Sure, but
why are you talking about ghosts when we're talking about the shape of the Earth and God speaking to Travis?
Because it's a similar thing that I'm trying to get at, which is again, like the shape of, like, you can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the Earth is round and people are spherical, if you will, and people that are under a different impression are factually mistaken, versus like the God claim and the burden of proof for that. How would you even verify? It's not an, you know what I mean? What would your burden of proof be for God? What would convince you beyond a reasonable doubt in the same way that God exists?
I am a Catholic. I'm already convinced.
No, I know, but outside of faith, right? What would it take for oh, this is Jesus or whatever? You know what I mean? My faith is no longer faith. My faith is now a fact. What would it take for that?
So the short answer is information from a reliable source.
Oh, sure. That's not a bad answer, honestly. What's a reliable source to you then? That's
for me, when it comes to God, it is the Catholic Church.
Do you actually believe that the Pope has? I'm really curious about this. Do you believe the Pope is has a direct line to God?
No. Oh, well, yes and no, as much as I do.
Huh? You know what I mean? Because I believe Catholics specifically think that the Pope is has a literal direct line to God, blah blah blah, right?
It's no different than ours.
No, I think according to Catholic doctrine, it is it is different. Absolutely.
You think wrong, Moloch.
I don't think so.
So what is how you're going to answer the question? What would the world where God is look like?
Yeah, I got to
Or are
go
you
with
going
the
to?
commenter here on Discord. The Pope has a red phone, like in the old Batman TV show.
That's a
That's
real
what I
thing.
thought.
No, no, he like Catholics, to be a Catholic, to qualify as a Catholic, the Pope isn't just the leader of your church in a figurative way. He has a literal direct line to God. I don't know if Vatican II changed that, but like that's been true since I was in Catholic school.
That sounds like
Sure.
Warren Jeffs from the Mormon Church. It's like
Sure.
it's like, yeah, I'm receiving this signal from God that your
Sure.
daughters must be mine now. I must have everyone's daughters. Yeah.
The Pope, the Pope's like an important figure. Like I agree. Like it matters who the Pope is, right? But like,
No, it really doesn't, does it?
no, it
The
absolutely
Pope
does.
has papal infallibility according to the Catholic
Yeah,
Church.
there you go. That's the
Hey,
one.
can I ask a question?
Yeah, what's up?
So, what is your understanding of the name Moloch?
I love it. I'm here for it. Like how deep into this lore do you want to go?
I asked a straight question.
Okay, what do you think Moloch is?
So I asked you, what is your understanding of the name Moloch?
I love eating children. It's my favorite.
You what?
Sacrificing children. Like when like Baal, like the people that worship the calf, like sacrifice children to me. It's like my favorite. That's what.
That's interesting. So can I ask Luke something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Luke, did I hear you correctly say earlier? And I will be honest, I struggle separating many of your words, so I might need to have you repeat something. But I thought you said earlier you spoke about the resurrection, and that if I understood what you said, as a Catholic, you're taught as a child that the resurrection is fact, and that it's reinforced throughout your life as a Catholic. And so, in relation to any other fact, the resurrection is a fact.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It is as much a known fact as the Earth is spherical. So resurrection is a known fact as much.
There you
as
go.
the
Okay, prove that. What do you mean? What?
Earth
Why isn't it?
is
Why isn't? Sorry.
a fact? That would be the answer to your question. I typed it in the chat.
Okay, sir.
Wait. So can I just ask this? And I'm asking. So maybe this is impolite, but I don't hang out as much as I may in the future in a venue like this. But from the standpoint of someone who believes it's all made up,
yeah,
is it impolite to ask if I think you're not being intellectually honest? Like straight up. I don't want to call you a name or anything, but
think of a globe skeptics asking me, am I intellectually honest when it comes for the shape of the Earth? I would say no, I am not, for the same reasons.
Wait, what?
Or similar reasons.
Wait, so you're not being intellectually honest about the resurrection, nor are you being intellectually honest about the shape of the Earth?
Dishonest. I thought you said dishonest. Sorry.
No, I'm saying that by comparing the two facts, the globe shape of the Earth,
he's being good faith. He's absolutely
the resurrection, that you're not. That's not intellectually honest.
Well,
it is from his vantage point. Though.
Hang on though.
Honest.
Hang on though. Like calling out the honesty is kind of just a mind reading game, right? Because we have someone who's sitting here saying that they actually do believe this and they're giving their justifications for it. And I think it's much wiser to look at, and to answer to the logical issues or the epistemic issues you see with Luke's position, as opposed to trying to engage in whether or not they have honesty in the mind or not when they're
So I that's why I stated it the way I did, and I'm asking, but I'm asking in the sense that because I don't believe it's an honest comparison being made, in that he's saying, if I understood him correctly, he was taught it was a fact throughout the life. It's been considered a fact, so therefore it's the same kind of fact. And
Listen,
the way that we arrive at the fact of the globe's shape of the Earth and that arrival at fact are two separate things that it's dishonest to compare them.
No, but to him, like he believes it, so therefore he is honest.
Yeah, as long as he is truly depicting what he actually believes, that these are comparable things. It's, you would want to point to what's fallacious about it, or from your epistemic perspective, why it shouldn't be believed. That doesn't, just because you're confronted with someone who just believes something that you think is radically incorrect, or they're comparing things that are non-comparable, I don't think means that it's bad faith in any way or dishonest in any way. I think it's just it's a disagreement on it's an epistemic disagreement. I mean,
well, it's special pleading. Like it's a definitionally special.
So
pleading, right?
That's fine, and there's all kinds of special and there's all kinds of special pleadings that go on in every category of thought, right?
Sure,
so,
but it's still.
It's worthwhile pointing it out. Yeah, but
attacking the person. Let's answer the question. What does a world where Jesus resurrected would look like? Can you answer the question, Aaron?
That question went. I didn't understand a word you said.
Okay, I typed it in the chat.
What does a world where Jesus resurrected would look like? What does a world where Jesus? Okay, what would a world where Jesus was resurrected? What would that world look like? Is what Luke's trying to ask.
Yeah.
We'd probably see other people resurrected within the last 2,000 years.
Okay, ready for it? I don't know if you want to do this, Luke, but like it's really easy. Like, okay.
Why do you expect other people to be resurrected?
Who discovered Jesus at the tomb?
Why do you expect to see other people resurrecting? Waypoint.
Hold on. What?
Well, I mean, if the Bible says that like a whole village
let's let Waypoint let Waypoint let Waypoint go with Luke first, and then let's move it around. Good, so we're not talking over each other. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So if Jesus resurrected, and somewhere in the Bible it says that like a whole cemetery rose from the dead at one point, why would it only happen there and never any other time?
So the reason why you expect other people to resurrect is because other people are resurrected as Jesus resurrected? Is that why?
I'm saying, why would it only happen once?
Yeah, that's true.
We've had like billions of people since then.
Did I understand correctly your answer? Yes or no?
Say it again.
Okay. Is my microphone that bad?
No, I just...
Okay.
It's your accent, Luke. Talk more Canadian. Talk more Canadian like me, and less French Canadian, please.
Sorry, I can try. If you want this French accent, it would be better.
That's much better for ratings.
Better. If you want, I can use that accent, and then you will better understand what I say. So the response.
No, don't do that.
No, don't. Okay. All right. Waypoint. The from your answer, what I understood is that the reason why you believe that the world where Jesus resurrected would look like with more people resurrecting is because when Jesus resurrected, there were other people that resurrected at the same time. Am I correct?
Well, you're saying that, like,
no.
What would it look like if that happened? And I would say that it probably would have continued happening.
Luke, you are correct. You did understand his point. Yes.
Okay. Oh,
Thank you very much, Donald.
Yes, you described what he described. Yes.
Okay, great. But that's why I'm having trouble having a conversation with Waypoint. Like, there is this language barrier. I don't think we will be able to have a conversation, him and me.
Hold on. So who saw Jesus at the tomb? Why is it silent?
I'm sorry, Moloch. Are you asking me a question about who Jesus? What's your question?
Okay, who like when they went to the tomb, who saw Jesus?
Many people did.
The Gospels are very specific about it. Who do they see?
Many people did see Jesus after he
died
and went to the tomb.
Okay, but there's contradictory stories within that narrative, right? Like in one story,
wrong.
It's very.
If you're asking me, is that
wrong.
right? I would say it is wrong, Moloch. But that's not answering.
It's not incorrect.
That's
It's
dodging the question I asked, Moloch.
No, hold on. I'm going back to your original claim.
I can hold on. Are you going to answer the question or dodge it?
I don't know what your question is. What's the question?
What was your response to my answer? You asked a question and I answered it, and you didn't really say anything.
I said, Wavepoint, that we cannot have a conversation, you and me. I tried to feedback you twice, and both times you weren't able to understand me, so we won't be able to have a conversation, you and me.
I can hear you. Okay? I don't know what you're talking about.
You are not able to understand me, Wavepoint. I don't know how to say that different. Please, someone else tell him. Explain to him.
I'm listening to you, and I can understand you. I don't even know what you're talking about. I understand you.
Okay,
you are not Wavepoint. I tried both times to give you a feedback. I gave you the correct feedback, and you said, no, that's not what I said. We are not talking the same language, you and me. We are not able to have a conversation with you and me. I don't want to have a conversation with you. Is that clear, Wavepoint?
Sounds like you're dodging, Luke, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very much.
I don't care, but I'm not like biased towards anything, but you know.
It just might be the case that Luke is just frustrated with trying to communicate with someone who he seems to think can't understand what he's saying.
Okay.
I didn't hear like one part for like 1 second because somebody was talking at the same time.
That's probably me.
Well,
wait, Luke, really quick. Like, I'm just curious. What was your question that you think that I'm dodging? I just forgot what it was. What was it?
What would a word where Jesus resurrected look like? I will point to the question in the chat.
Like prescriptive,
is
like
a question that I typed
in the chat it in a
earlier.
way. Rephrase it in a way where, like, can you rephrase it? It's not that I'm not understanding you; it's that I'm not clear on what you mean.
Would a word where Jesus resurrected look like differently than the one that we live in? Yes or no?
Maybe, yeah. What
would be the difference?
The butterfly effect.
I think I would argue that. Ooh, do you really like? There's no way to know, but I would argue that probably more Jews than Gentiles would probably convert more over time. I would argue that if it was in a way where like everybody knew he resurrected, yeah, it would like definitely like he would probably be supernatural in some way, right?
Hey, could I answer the question, Luke?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, but I want to make sure that I understand his answer. You say more Jews than Gentile will convert, and something else I didn't get. Sorry.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know. There's no way to know, but I would say the world would be different in the sense that supernatural happenings probably exist, and it would change like the framework in which we like view the world. I would think so. Yeah.
So you're saying more Jews than Gentile will convert, and miracles will happen more often.
No, not more miracles will happen more often. Miracles would be substantiated, probably. Yeah, babe.
Yeah. Well, okay. Sorry, so you would see miracles after the resurrection. That's what you expect to see if Jesus was resurrected. And
no,
we don't.
I don't
the miracles that we see are not substantiated. Am I correct?
Wait, hold on. Just to clarify, I don't think miracles. Sorry, my fiance is sleeping. I don't think miracles exist because I don't think supernatural things exist, right? But like, if the resurrection happened like objectively, then I would have to concede that like it's possible for miracles to happen. It like the frequency at which it happens, like we wouldn't know, but like yeah, like there would be like a supernatural element to the natural world. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a different conversation. I do believe miracles do happen. If a miracle were to happen, what it would look
No,
like is
I'm answering your
another
question.
question we could have. There is someone else that had a question for me. Allow me to answer his question.
So you were asking him.
I'm so confused.
As part of this, you were asking him, well, would you expect to see other resurrections, correct?
Moloch, no, I wasn't.
Well, so is it wrong to say
miracles?
Wait. So I would answer the question that there would be no difference because what we have now is the result of the stories that were told regardless of what happened. Now, the other thing is that right before Jesus' resurrection in the story, Lazarus is resurrected, and nobody seems to care about that.
I can answer that.
So I'm trying to understand why, to say it directly, in antiquity, many people resurrected. So the resurrection of Jesus is not unique, even in the story. It's part of a story, but it's the story that ended up making things happen, not the events.
Can I play devil's advocate with that one? So, like,
I answered in the chat. You can read it, Aaron.
So Luke would argue, or like a Catholic would probably argue that like Lazarus is still consistent with God being like whatever, because it was Jesus that resurrected Lazarus. It was like Lazarus didn't resurrect himself, right?
Was he dead?
No, but you're not getting like.
Was he dead?
Yes, but
did he live after he was dead?
No, but that's secondary to the point that like the reason why he lived after he's dead.
I don't see why.
Because
I'm supposed to think that the same thing.
I know.
So
hear me though.
About Jesus.
You're hearing me, but you're not listening. Like what I'm saying is,
I'm the one that's not listening.
No, dude, just listen. I'm trying to help you understand like his perspective, right? So a Christian would say that because Lazarus was resurrected from Jesus, it is consistent with the narrative that Jesus is, God and supernatural. Because
I said, what makes the resurrection of Jesus so special when Lazarus had just been resurrected and lots of other people were resurrected?
Listen, because he's the one that resurrected himself. Because he's the one that resurrected himself, and he caused Lazarus to be.
Well, I thought God resurrected him.
He is God. If you're a Christian,
how is that?
Because Christians are Trinitarians. It's really stupid. I don't know.
Really stupid wasn't really called for in this conversation. Thank you very much to be respectful when there is a Christian in the room. I understand that you are with other people that do not believe in that, but please don't be disrespectful. Aaron, the answer to your question is also written in the chat. Did you have the chance to read it?
We'll say that again.
I wrote the answer to your question in the chat. Did you have the chance to read it?
Which question?
What's the difference between Lazarus' resurrection and Jesus attacked you? In the chat.
I'm going back. Okay, wait.
Says
Lazarus' resurrection and Jesus' resurrection are not the same. One is still alive and the other, no.
No. I give you a way better answer. Luke, use my answer for now on.
No,
when you
Jesus is still alive.
No.
What are you saying no to, Aaron?
That Jesus is not alive.
How do you know that?
Yeah.
Because the story says they killed him.
No, well, it depends what gospel you read. That's
He
the other issue.
resurrected Aaron.
No,
Resurrection
he
means
resurrected.
he's
Hold on,
alive after being killed.
Travis. You might want to. Okay, so are you ready for it? Oh, okay, ready. So, what were Jesus' last words, Luke?
In the story?
Hold on, Luke. What were Jesus' last words?
I'm not sure Aaron has the answer to his question, Malok. I don't
Who
like
gives a
what you're
fuck?
doing.
It doesn't because it doesn't because you gave him a. Oh, sorry, it's just frustrating. Sorry,
Yeah, who
sorry.
gives a fuck? Right, Travis, I think I'm going. I don't
Why?
like your
Hold on,
show,
which
man.
which
You
Well,
don't
he
like
can
that
use-
are
died on
allowed,
the
and you
cross, or
laugh
the
at it
one?
as if it is a
I'm
good
not
thing for
laughing.
them
It's
to
just
use
really
this type of
frustrating
language,
because you're
and
really
this is
frustrating.
not
It might
the
be
type
time.
of language
It,
in a serious conversation.
it
Aaron is
might.
trying to have a conversation. This guy is insulting
Yes.
my religion. This guy
I'm not-
is using
Yes.
who gives a fuck about
Okay,
Aaron
but
when Aaron is trying to have an answer to his question.
well, I
and
don't
you
think
are
that was
laughing.
directed.
No,
I don't think that was directed at Aaron.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
And people can use bad language on the show. People like Luke can also make a request to not, attack his religion, and it seems like people have granted
I didn't.
that request. So let's take this all a little more lightheartedly. But so and let's try to because it seems like Aaron and Luke were doing something, but then Moloch, you're also trying to do something. So why don't you finish off, Moloch, what you were just trying to say? Luke can answer if he wants to. He doesn't have to. And then we can let maybe Aaron and Luke go for a little bit before we shut down the show for tonight.
Sure. Okay. I know. Luke, I'm a vulgar person. I agree. I am trying to work on it. I am so sorry. I have a temper. Sorry. Listen. So, okay. So your claim initially that I want to nitpick on is you said the resurrection of Jesus was as empirically true as the earth being round, correct? Like factually true, right? Yeah. That is your claim. Okay. Then a lot of examples of this. So, okay. Why are there inconsistencies within the Gospels about about who saw him at the resurrection? About like his last words. Like, I have an
Kill your
answer.
mother. We disagree.
What?
Why did you kill that person? We disagree on your why question.
Rephrase what you're saying.
You're claiming that there is a contradiction when there is none.
No, there absolutely is, because in I think it's Matthew. Yeah, in Mark, he doesn't even have a resurrection. In Matthew, I believe it's Mary Magdalene and Mary, Mother of God. But like they didn't all happen at the same time. When they roll back the tomb, there were everybody gives you a different answer, and it's like you like those are absolutely contradictions.
Moloch, there is none.
I don't read the Bible. Like,
yes, read the Bible.
Okay.
Well, just and then really quick.
Hold on. Then just go into the people who saw Jesus resurrected.
Really quick. But okay, and then the only other thing too is that like, never mind. Fuck it. It's just like that part of the story. Okay, like why doesn't Mark mention it? Why like his last words are different relative to the gospel that you read? Like it's all relative to the gospel you read. Like absolutely. So my only point is if it's empirically sound as the earth being around, then why are there different accounts for the same event in a meaningful way that is contradictory? That's all.
Again, Moloch, I don't know how many times I need to repeat that to you. You are mistaken. There is no contradiction. Is that clear?
My God,
You're asking me why did I
All
murder
right,
that
you
person?
guys,
I keep
you guys
saying you
disagree.
did murder that person. You
Yeah.
did
No,
murder
no,
that person. You
no,
did
no,
murder
false
that person.
equivalence.
I'm telling you, it is not the case. Don't ask the question as if it is the case. It
Well,
is
I
not
mean,
the
Luke, he
case.
can ask the question. You can refuse to answer it, but I think you guys just disagree on the contradiction there. But let's, Aaron, did you have anything else you wanted to sort out with Luke before we move this
Well, I
to
didn't,
Tav
you
time?
know.
Sorry.
Moloch, can
I
you
wanna make-
mute? Yeah, thanks.
I wanted to make sure that I didn't insult Luke. I didn't intend to if I did.
You weren't the one insulting. Moloch was.
Okay, I'll just make sure. But because it's very possible that my view of it could be insulting. So, but that, that said, I had firmly say that the resurrection aspect of it and what a world would look like without it or with it, the world would look the same because it's a story. Because no one can tell anything about any of these stories. I think it's really tough to sit and say, yes, there are contradictions, or no, there aren't contradictions, when nobody can even really say when all the writings come about. So, I mean, we could argue about what this or that means. I tend to think that it's all a made-up story.
Fair enough. All right, everyone. It is that time of the evening. It is tavern time. Thanks to everyone who engaged in community God debates tonight. We had atheists, Catholics, and Christians tonight. That was fun. Now we're going to head to our digital tavern for the after party, after show, the digest. Someone's mic is destroying my. It's Moloch. Moloch, you and that mic of yours. But there's a Discord link for everyone on YouTube. Thanks for stopping by the way. And yeah, come and join us on Discord. We'll be hanging out in the voice channel named Trav's Tavern. But as always, make sure you're out there maximizing well-being for yourself and those around you, and come and hang out with us. We'll be announcing, I think it's like 4 or 5 new events, live intellectual discussions on stages around the world within the next week or so here. So stay tuned. If you're not subscribed to our main channel, please go and subscribe over there as well. You'll get notified quicker there of what's going on at Pangburn. And the Discord server is a really good place because you have access to what's going on in real time. If you're interested in trying out my philosophical coaching practice, the first session is free. We work on ideas and trying to better articulate the purposes and meaning in your life, and making sure that you're moving rationally towards those purposes. And yeah, if you just want to, if you have no intention of carrying on with the coaching practice and you just want to have a one-on-one with me for an hour, you can get in touch with me on Discord, or you can email info@pang-burn.com. But the sessions are basically just one-on-one sessions where we work on different ideas that you have. We try to understand the physics of your situation, and yeah, try to orient that stuff all towards more meaningful life and being able to actualize goals if you're someone that has a difficult time with that. So, all right. Well, good night, everybody.